I mean, normally I can just capture things from the celestial realms and just bring them forward and just, you know, but not today.
It's nothing there.
It's not happening. It's not happening, you know what I mean? It's not. I've lost my connection. I've been disconnected. Hi guys, Mitch here from MJB Seminars, where you liberate, empower and inspire yourself to be the greatest example of your creation. Now, I'm often asked how to stay within their power, how we should stay within our power when we're faced with challenging situations. You know, people going for jobs, or you know, mums finding it difficult to actually handle their kids, or dads finding it difficult, you know, having a difficulty with their teenagers. But how to actually stay within your power, no matter what the scenario or what the situation. The first thing you have to understand in terms of power is that sometimes people mix the word power with control. So they feel that power, you know, to be powerful is to overpower, and it's nothing to do with that. Overpowering someone else is a control issue. Powerful people have a sense of knowing. They fully understand who they are. They know their strengths and their weaknesses. They have, you know, parts of themselves that they admire about themselves, parts of themselves that they feel challenged by, and they don't just try to be one way. And remember, the ultimate quest across all of the ancient teachings, what the ultimate quest of man and life was to know thyself. And that means to know and love and own every single part of yourself. Control, on the other hand, is a different animal. Or, you know, when you have a perception that to be powerful is to overpower someone or is to control them, it's a fundamentally different. Control is always based on fear, and fear is a perception that as a result of your actions in the future you're going to have a loss without a gain. The truth about it is you can't have a loss without a gain, but when you live in that perception, you will hunger for the plus without the minus, and you're only becoming half a person. And for me, I don't particularly want to deal with anybody that's half a human. I want to deal with the whole sum of a human being. So when you meet another human being, or when you meet a challenge, what happens is that right from when you get out of bed in the morning, you have this world, and this world sits within a framework. And what happens is you're framing everything as you move around all of the time. And the first part of your brain that when you take in information, that information tends to want to run through, not all of the time, but tends to want to run through, is the mammalian brain. It's the lizard part of your brain. It's the least evolved part of your brain, and it deals with fight and flight. And when you meet another human being, your frame, which deals with fight and flight, meets their frame, which deals with fight and flight. And what happens is that mammalian part of the brain is trying to work out, okay, what's happening in front of me now? Is it protecting me? Is it serving me? If it's not, I need to get out of here. If it's not going to protect me, I need to get out of here. If it's not going to serve me, I need to run. If this is not going to help me right now, I need to just eject all that information out of my life. So your frame clashes with another human being's frame. And when you know yourself, you'll be aware that this is going on, and your intention will be to help the other person feel comfortable and to allow the other person to be in a space where they can hear you and allow you to be clear about what your intention is and get your message across, so that you don't have these challenging situations. The only reason challenge occurs is when a person close to you or that you're dealing with feels they're going to have a minus and no plus. So your objective is to make sure that the person feels comfortable in what it is that you're saying, and they feel whole in what it is that you're saying, and they feel secure in what it is that you're saying, and they feel secure that you're present in their lives at that moment in time. So I'm going to give you 3 really, really cool ways to make sure that that happens for you. Now, in my life, the people that are my direct family, I have 2 little girls. One of them is Lexi and the other one is Lola. Some of you guys have seen little images of them on Facebook and little videos. I put them up all the time because I love my kids. But Lola she's a Gemini. Now, stereotypical Gemini trait is that they will hop and oscillate violently and TikTok violently from one personality to another personality. One minute they'll be really, oh, I love you, Daddy, you're so awesome, you're so amazing. The next minute they'll be like, ah, and they'll be just like pulling their hair out, yeah, right, and stomping and kicking up and down the hallway. So I have to know that when that's happening with Lola, I have to stay fully within the question. So the first tip is you've got to stay within the question. You've got to make sure that your intention is to stay within the question and that you're of service, your questions are of service. If I respond with rah back to her, well then nothing happens. You know, we just have this huge big blow up. So I have to be know myself enough to know, okay, I'm aware of how to handle this, stay within my power, don't try to control her, stop and ask myself, okay, this question is to be of service to me and it's to be of service to her, but you've got to stay within the question. Lola, what is going on for you right now, honey? Do you need to talk to Daddy? Lola, do you need a hug? Do you need me to hold you? And I think as soon as I do this with Lola and I stay within my power with clear intention to be of service to myself foremost, and then Lola after this, my objective is to make sure that I'm staying in my power and that Lola feels comfortable in being able to answer those questions, and that they're of service to her so she can actually get it out and be able to communicate with me. So remember, step number 1 is always be in the question. Step number 2 is to always make sure that you emphasize the importance on things. So I'll give you another example with Lola. About 6 months ago, the teacher calls us into the classroom and says, listen, none of the kids are allowed to take toys into school anymore. So, because kids just turn up with bags of toys, and and when you're in that pre-primary stage, that's just what you do. You play with toys and draw and create stuff. So I explained to Lola, you can't bring your toys into school anymore. Well, 2 days later, Lola has this little teddy bear called Jerry, who's a giraffe, Jerry the giraffe. And Lola was adamant that she wanted to be able to bring the giraffe to school. So she was having a complete SPAC attack, going ballistic. So I had to emphasize the importance. So I stopped and I said, Lola, you love Jerry, don't you? I love Jerry and I want to bring him to school. But Lola, you have to understand, honey, if you bring Jerry to school, the teacher's probably going to take him off you. And you love Jerry. You want to be able to go to bed with him tonight and cuddle him, don't you? Yes, I do, Daddy. And also, Lola, I understand how much you love him and how much he means to you. But what if anything happened to him at school? So what's the best thing or the most important thing we could do for Jerry right now and for you? Would you agree that probably putting Jerry back on your bed and letting him have a little sleep until you come home would be the best thing? Yes, it would, Daddy. So what I've done there is I'm emphasizing that I understand the importance of what is going on for the person to them, and I understand the importance of what is going on for the person to me, because I know that for me, I want Lola to be able to go to school and the teacher to not be pulling me aside again and saying, listen, we asked you not to let the toys come in. So then I also would say to Lola, like a little adult, Lola, it's important because the teacher has asked me not to let toys go into school anymore, and I fully understand that you understand this. And people think, oh, you can't have that conversation with a kid, but trust me, you absolutely can, and you should speak to your kids as if they are little adults and not as if they're little babies. So again, step number 2 is emphasizing the importance of it to you and also to the person, that you understand what's happening in the scenario. So you understand that, if you were in a controlled situation, you'd be like, Lola, put the teddy back on the bed, you're not taking that teddy to school, because your primitive part of your brain, which is framed up as going, oh my God, I don't want to go into school and have the teacher bark at me again and blah, 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 blah. So you're trying to avoid that. Okay, so the third way to stay in your power when you're challenged is to know what your intention is. Now, there's a really, really cool law called the law of lesser pissers, and I know it's a little bit vulgar, but it is actually a law. And it basically states that you're best to piss someone else off because you don't know their intention, as opposed to piss yourself off. You're best to cause someone whatever's going to cause the least amount of pain to you. The reason being is that when you put your head down at night, you know your intention. So your intention must always be first and foremost to you. So that's the final one. Your intention must always be first and foremost to you. So for example, if I know that I go ballistic at Lola because she's gone ballistic, then I know that, when she walks away, she's going to be unhappy, and I'm also going to be really unhappy and feeling guilty, like I'm getting it wrong and I'm messing it up and da-da-da, which is very, very common amongst parents, trust me. So my objective then is to make sure that no matter what happens, my intention is to cause the greatest amount of comfort to me. And when you cause the greatest amount of comfort to you, you also encourage them to do exactly the same thing. So what I would do is I make sure that I talk with her, I spend the time listening to her, I spend the time nurturing her and helping her to really express what she needs to say. And then my intention is to make sure that when I walk away, I've done everything in my power to make sure that Lola is actually feeling okay about herself. Now, I want you to do something. As usual this week, we're going to continue on the conversation in the comment section. So I want you to think about some of the ways in which you stay in your power, and I want you to share with me so that I can continue to expand my bank of knowledge and wisdom. Share with me some of the ways in which you allow yourself and you are able to actually stay within your power. On top of this, if you know somebody that feels as if they're being overpowered or feels as if they're being really controlling or they're being controlled, please feel free to flick this link forward to them, or to tweet it, or to stick it out on Facebook and share it with them through Facebook. Now guys, I know you loved this information, and we're going to see you again at the next video. Remember guys, love is the only way, love is all there is, and you deserve to live a life inspired. Take care, bye bye.